out loud to, and then they give you feedback and opinion based on what it is that you want to do. Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, and for the entrepreneurs who are in the room, we are so much in our heads that we don't have time to actually sound out in a safe space where you're not worried someone is going to steal your idea and go and do it instead. And also in a space where you know you're free to not know, you're free to ask all the stupid questions and be given guidance. Yeah.
I can say about how one creates a job is first, try and identify a gap in the community, in the sector that you want to, pursue, and then you try, after identifying that gap, you try and come up with a plan or a roadmap on how to incorporate and bring in other people in a way that they can be able to benefit from that. Like I can say, I can give an example with my honey business. I am creating jobs in the value chain through buying honey from the farmers up to when the good reaches to the consumer. So when there is purchasing of the honey from the farmers, then we go to aggregation. From aggregation, there is transport. From transport, there is lab testing. From lab testing, there is processing, there is packaging, there is labeling. So through that value chain, I have been able to create jobs. So I feel like in the creation of jobs, you're supposed to identify something, and then uangalie italeta how many people on board. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Dominic?
I think it's a very good question, and let's start from here. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. I think that's what youth, we need to tell our youth. This story of go and have companies, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. If we start from there, then we shall start to have a candid discussion. If you do your own research, the most profitable businesses here in Kenya, the people that have started their companies here in Kenya, if you do your research very careful, they were once employed. They were once employed. And being employed is not a must. You are a CEO or what. You can be even an intern somewhere or an officer somewhere. The main reason why it's very important for you first to learn from somewhere is because you will need to apply those skills in your own businesses. When you start your own business, one of the things you will discover, there are small things that you will assume, but it will cost you in future. Example, you need to understand about the legal of the company, the staff that you are hiring. If something happens to them, what happens? They can take you to court. Your company can shut down. So first, let's understand not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Secondly, how do one create a job? First, it's with your own skill. What is this thing that you are good at? Like myself, I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at, I am a strategist. So I've been doing this for companies, but I ask myself, if I'm doing this for companies, why can't I do this myself? So I took it as an opportunity, and I created a company to make sure that I don't employ a strategist, I be the strategist. Are you getting it? So it's upon you first check a gap in your community or in your place. Have a skill, check within yourself. Which skill do you have? If you like talking too much, you can be a good marketer. Go and start. Yeah. If you are a person that you like to do a lot of, you are very keen in accounts, very detailed, you can start a consultancy of accounting. Yeah. So it's all about checking first what you have in a skill, and then secondly the gap that is there, and then also lastly is about what is the solution that you want to provide to the community. I give an example of if you go to town, you'll get a lot of M-Pesa shops. Sindio? There is a lot of M-Pesa shops, but there's somebody, you'll get one person has opened an M-Pesa shop, but inside there anauza juice. Inside there is a photocopier. So it means that person ali find out that there is a deficit or there is a gap of photocopier and juice, and that's why amefungua hiyo biashara ya juice. So there are those three things. First, identify the skill you have. Secondly, the opportunity, and thirdly, which solution do you want to give?
Right, thank you. Olive?
So yes, I think we've covered that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And I think, so I personally have never been employed. I sort of winged it from day one. And it was the help of mentors or people who have been in that space of being able to guide me and making sure that I do everything the right way. The first business I started probably was not, if it was to be audited or if it was to try and get an investor into it, it was all over the place, from how the registration was done to how we're doing our books. But then by the time we're starting the second business, you've learned from your mistakes and you're able to start better and build for growth, which I think is very important. When it comes to how does someone create a job, that's how does someone create a job? So I think they have answered it in two ways. First of all, it starts with talent on our own part as an individual. I like to say that relevance is the only job security that exists in today's business world, right? And even as we're coming out of COVID, and I'm very aware that we're in an employment conference, as we are going into or coming out of COVID, people have been laid off, companies are not hiring. I get resumes and CVs every day, so who's going to employ, who's going to absorb all of these people? And in comes the gig economy, or what I call solopreneurship. If you're a good graphic designer, then what you want to do is just become the best and most sought after graphic designer, such that you're paid for the work that you do. And you find that there'll be many entrepreneurs or people who are running SME businesses who can afford or who need your services, maybe just cannot afford to retain you on a full-time basis. So what they'll do is when they need a graphic designer, they'll go to either the different platforms that are there or ask around which graphic designer do I use. And it's always, they say the cream always rises to the top. It's always the best people who will be recommended. And then of course, because I've used the example of graphic designers specifically, and I have my own pain with designers, when you're given the job, you deliver. So we all know how graphic designers never deliver. Anyway, so it's about being able to treat yourself as a business, even as you're looking for employment, whatever skill it is. If it's accounting, my accountant actually started as a third-party accountant. So he was doing accounts for 3 or 4 different companies. All of us were in the fashion beauty space, because you need accounting, but then you don't have such high, you don't have high sort of cash inflows on a day-to-day basis, so you don't need a full-time accountant, but you do know that you need to keep your books. So this guy started a business, and he said, okay, I'll keep your books for you and for you and for you and for you. Pay me 5K a month, pay me 10K a month, depending on your turnover and how much work you need to do. And now it's a fully fledged business. So it's about finding opportunities where people are not able to see some. And then of course, the other element of job creation is man is not an island. Even as business owners, to run your business, you still need other people to be able to feed into your business. He got into the fashion industry, and the first thing he needed was tailors. He could have done it himself, but then that would have impeded his growth. So he does need to absorb other people. She's talked about her entire value chain of honey and how many people she's had to employ just to keep her business going. So I think job creation has very many different facets. So it's a matter of everybody in the room, where do you sit, and how can you be able to carve out a niche for yourself that makes sense for you?
All right. I believe are we getting a bit or a lot of things from the panel? Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have questions, so please just hold on to them. Just one more thing, then we can take questions, and then we wrap this session up. Remember, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whichever social media platform you're using, please remember the hashtag is YEC2020, hashtag JobNiJob, hashtag InvolveYouthKE. Now, as we wrap this up, before we take questions, someone is probably seated in the audience or watching from home or wherever they are, and they really want to get a mentor. Maybe they're already in entrepreneurship, or they've started a career in whatever field that it is they wanted to, like probably a regular job. How does someone identify a mentor, and how do you access a mentor? Very quickly, I'll take Olive, then we'll have Dominic, then Joreen will close before we take questions.
Okay. I think mentors are everywhere. I know Margaret mentioned books. She referred to a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was actually the first book I read that sort of solidified my drive to get into business. So books, speakers, TED Talks, anywhere where information is being shared, those are sources where you can be able to absorb a lot of information. Mentors can be in your relatives, your uncles, your aunties, anybody who you think has something or some extra information to offer you. And lastly, you can always reach out to different mentors on different platforms. I know people are normally very open to mentoring other people. I personally have a platform called glowentrpreneurship.com. So you can go on there, register to either become a mentor or to be mentored. And what we do is we have prepared it in cohorts, because where found mentees failing is that they go to mentors and then they sit and they're waiting to listen. So now tell me what to do. But that's not how mentorship works. What you're supposed to do is try and figure out what to do, and then take your ideas to your mentor and say, is this a good idea or not? But a lot of young people tend to think that mentors will now give them the secret to life. There's no secret to life. Like I said, everybody is just trying to figure it out as well. So you can go into glowentrepreneurs.com. What we do is it's specifically for entrepreneurship, and the idea is to be able to walk you through, first of all, your business journey and help you solidify in your head where you think you are and where you want to go. And then based on that, we now link you up with a mentor who we think can be able to guide you to the next steps. Thank you.
Dominic?
Okay, about mentor, I think she has summarized like everything. Mentors are everywhere. What matters is, are you picking the right mentor? And I summarized into two. Like one, a mentor should be like a connection. Somebody who you are very open to. You can talk to him about your business. And kindly, you need to be very careful, because not all those that you talk about your business are happy, right? Even your own parents, it's true. Even your own siblings, yeah? So you need to be very careful when you are choosing your mentor. This mentor, there must be some chemistry. If there's no chemistry, wachana nayo. That chemistry should be very easy. The first time you discuss with them, you are able to have a candid discussion about the business. And lastly, you need a mentor that is not more of a friend, but rather has a depth of knowledge and character. Look for someone you can trust who will remain candid yet supportive. Look for that person that can give you a candid criticism about your own business. But don't look for those people that they will tell you, hiyo biashara iko sawa, iko sawa, iko sawa. Huyo achana na yeye. Look for somebody that will tell you, hapa you are doing a wrong thing. Kindly choose another platform for you to excel. I think if you choose the right mentorship, you'll go far. If you choose a wrong mentorship, you'll never achieve any business. You'll be trying like the way I've been trying, opening a lot of companies, and there's no achievement. So it's about looking for the right mentorship.
All right, thank you. Joreen, before we take questions.
When they have said that mentors are everywhere, that is very, very true. Lakini pia, I think that as much as mentors are everywhere, you should also do your research, that is one. You should also have that hunger for knowledge. And ukiwa na hiyo hunger, utakuwa unajua like, if I go to this organization, if I go to this other organization, I can be able to talk to them so that I can be able to get a mentor. You know, kama venye tumekuwa na presentation hapa ya Chase Bank, unasikia kuna the SMEs hub. Something like that, unafaa sasa, you go, present yourself and what you do, and then they will be able to link you up or match you up with someone who can be able to help you in whatever that you want to do. When we look at an organization like KCIC, they do the same thing. When we look at Chandaria, Hiko, KU, they also do the same thing. When you look at the KNCCI, they do the same thing. So as much as we are saying mentors are everywhere, you should also do your research. Na ujue, if I want to do, let's say you're doing agribusiness, avocados, you want to learn how to export avocados. Of course, huwezi amka, you go and say, I'm exporting avocados, then ujaze container, upeleke kwenye unapeleka. You know, you will need someone to guide you, someone to show you how you get the documentations right, nini. So you will also need to avail yourself to these forums, kama forum kama hii. There are very many forums you can go to. Sahi hata si lazima you go to physical forums, you can do them online. So you don't necessarily need to incur like a lot of cost to go to where you want to go so that you can get information. And then information is everywhere. Read books, you know, like I will tell you to go to pdfdrive.com. They have free books, kila mahali. Any book that you want, you can get it. So, mentorship, you go for it, that is one, and you identify the best places where you can be able to get the best mentors who will be able to take you to the next level.
Thank you very much, Joreen. I should mention, as soft-spoken as she is, she's actually the top 35 under 35 Youth of the Year in the Entrepreneurship category this year. Yeah, so she's actually a junior achiever, a young achiever in this industry. So we'll take questions from the audience. Just, again, we'll do the 3 from every section. We'll start on my right. Okay, you'll go first. I want to help me with the mic, with the roving mic, with the sound, the technical team. It's okay, you can use mine. On this side, do you have someone who'd like to ask a question? At the center? None. Okay, okay. All right, you go next. And on my extreme left, anyone who has a question? None. Okay, so we'll take those 2. Yeah, she's the first one. Second one. Men are really bad with colors. I can't tell what color this is. Is it beige? Is it turquoise? Is it pink? But it's bright. That's what I can tell for a fact. Just enlighten me. What color is that? Peach. All right. I was today years old. So the lady in peach, Kelvin, will go next. Then she's first, then the lady in peach will go next. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Lydia Midimo. I have a question for Dominic. It is said that most of the businesses never see their 10th birthday. Whether that is true, I don't know. I can't really quote the research of that fact, but it says that most businesses never see their 10th birthday. So for Dominic, you have just mentioned that you have done so many businesses and they have failed. So I'm curious to know from the businesses that failed, what are some of the mistakes that you did, and what are some of the things that you did differently from the previous businesses that failed? Because you mentioned that there are two that are currently thriving. So what are some of the mistakes that you did that you're currently not doing so that we can be able to learn, we can take lessons from you? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Lydia. The lady in peach.
My name is Grace. I am a mental health advocate, and my question is actually, you find that some of us are entrepreneurs, but not in physical. You know, it doesn't have to be you have a shop or a stall selling something, yeah. But you have an idea that could be entrepreneurial, yeah, in around 10 years. That will birth things in 10 years. For example, an organization on mental health. Just selling selling an idea, yeah? But now, how do we monetize that? How do I make my skills in mental health? Because I'm currently a psychologist, like I have studied psychology. So how do I monetize my psychology skills? Other than having a farm that people come to for psychology help, how do I monetize it to make it sell, to make it, productive, other than having a stall?
All right, thank you for that. I think even besides the field that she's in, it's all about innovation. How are you innovative? How creative are you? What makes you unique? What makes you stand out? And how do you cash in on that, right? Yeah, so I think Dominic will go first. Then, we didn't have someone on this side. Do we have? All right, we have a gentleman. So I think for those two questions that we've taken, Dominic will go first. Then I think Olive and Joreen, you can speak about being innovative and how to cash in on a unique idea that you have. And then let's hear the gentleman with the last question.
Good afternoon. My name is Alfred. I'm from Mombasa. And I wanted to inquire about branding. How important is self-branding towards entrepreneurship? I don't know if you get the question. Okay.
Thank you. I think Olive will take that directly on the branding. So I think we can split those. Dominic, you can go on the failed businesses. Joreen, you can do the innovative bit and how to make your business unique and cashing in on an idea that you have. And Olive, you can answer the question on branding. Yeah, then we'll wrap it up.
I think the 11 businesses that have failed, the main reason, it was because of wrong partners. Friends that I thought they are partners. And I discovered that in your business dreams, you need to find business partners that have the same vision. A good example is you'll come up with an idea and then you go and talk to a friend that you think has money to help you out, and then the guy might give you that money and sit back. But you are the person that needs to go and do the donkey jobs, and then when the first check comes, that's where the problem starts. And that's where you find out most people, they end up stopping the company. Not that the company is not doing well, but it's because of the board wrangles. And most of my companies that that I stopped them. It's not that they were doing badly. It's just we did not agree. And I stepped out. Yeah. So those lessons have pushed them forward, that now when I start up a company, I can tell you I invest a lot in terms of advice. I look for people, like I am doing the interviews. I will invite you to really pitch to me that can we really work? Yeah. So it's about partners. If you get the wrong partners, even if it's a perfect idea, it will all go down. And then just to add to the lady that talked about the skill that she has, but she don't know how to monetize it. I can give you a very short story. Like now in my company, what I'm doing now, I'm working with a section of skills of people. Like now for legal, in my company, I have like 4 legal people that I don't pay on a permanent basis, but I pay on a retainer. So what I do is I looked at them as my friends, and they have no jobs, but they can offer the legal advice. So in every month, I agree with them that this is a small retainer that I'll give you. So I can also myself, apart from the business, I can also look for business and I give them. If you come to the IT, I have a team of like 6 people. I cannot employ all of them. I tell them, you can do the graphics, you can do this. So it's about the connection also. It goes back to the connection. If you have the right connection, you can always find a way out. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joreen. In summary, then Olive, so that we wrap this up.
To the lady who has said that you might have a skill or something, but you do not know how to monetize it, my thoughts is that when you can be able to do something, or when you identify that you can be able to do something, first have a clear roadmap on what exactly, how unataka iende aje, how do you want everything to be, like you're saying in the next 5 years. So have a plan, like for that period of time, hadi ile time unataka kuilaunch, what are your goals, what are your objectives. And also I think that the monetization part, well, you should approach the correct people, because if you want the correct people to advise you on that, because sometimes money is not an island, so you will also need insights za watu wengine so that you can be able to know and what can I say? I'm trying to come up with that word, this idea.
Speak in whichever language, someone will interpret whatever it is you want to say.
Like, make sure that ukikuwa na hiyo roadmap, you approach the right people so that they can be able to guide you into everything that you want to do. Like, your monetization of something that you have already had a plan for. You've understood? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Olive?
Thanks. So maybe to add on what she said, as much as you have the knowledge or you have a particular skill, it's also important to find out what you're talented in, because we all have different talents. And I think he also alluded to it. You could be a numbers person, you could be a person who talks a lot, and maybe you should be in marketing. So find out what your talent is, and then hone your skills through that talent. So if it's public speaking, then you can become someone who talks about mental illness and things like those. If you're more empathetic, then you can take or focus your energies towards counseling. So the most important thing is your talent. So don't look at what other people are doing and try to do it too. We know that's how Kenyans tend to do businesses, right? So don't look at what other people are doing. Figure out what your particular specific skill set is, because you'll be more likely to achieve near perfect execution by focusing on your talents. And when it comes to personal branding or self-branding in business, yes, I think it's extremely important, because as an entrepreneur, especially at the very beginning, you're the face and the brand of the business that you're running. one of the examples I like to use is Richard Branson. When Richard Branson started Virgin, he was very eclectic and over the top and doing ridiculous stunts, and he was always in the press and in the papers for doing this, that, or the other. And his logic was, his biggest competition at that time was British Airways, and he said Virgin is just a start. And he said Virgin Airlines was just a startup, and he didn't have the same types of budgets as the British Airways of this world. So what he'll do is he'll just make sure that So what he'll do, wow. So what he'll do is he'll just try and make sure that he creates newsworthy conversations that always ensure that Virgin is at the top of news every single time. And when they accumulated it in terms of media, at that point when he was being at his most extravagant and when he was doing all the stunts that he was doing, he was actually getting more free media than BA was getting in paid media. So yes, your personal brand is very important when it comes to running a business. What is important to do, especially at the very beginning, is being able to create two different brand identities between your organization and your personal brand. I remember it's something that I also struggled with a lot with Couture Africa. When people see Couture, they see Olive. And I'm like, no, people should see Couture on its own, and then people should see Olive for other things. So being able to separate that such that your organization is also strong on its own. It's not strong because you're strong. It's strong because you've built a strong business brand. So I think those are the two things that you need to keep in mind. And remember that, again, just even when you're doing our corporate trainings, as an entrepreneur, you're a walking, talking billboard of the business that you're running or the businesses that you're running. So you need to make sure that you're selling a good story. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring this to a close because we have another session that is coming, and it is virtual. It's going to Zoom and broadcasted on Facebook Live. Thank you very much, Dominic. Thank you very much, Joreen and Olive, for joining us. We really appreciate your presence here with us today. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon Kelvin Kerr, who's going to close the sessions. Remember, there's tea after this. Don't rush to leave. There's tea for you, right where we served tea earlier on. Thank you very much. You may take your seats as Kelvin Kerr closes the ceremony for us. Please clap for them and appreciate them as they take their seats. All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you in a special way to everyone who came here today. But I want to start with yourself. So, could we rise up? Could we rise up for a minute? Yes, you're stretching. I like that. Could you just look around and see the people behind you or in front of you? Yeah? Look at the side. You remember there was somebody who was seated there and has left. You remember somebody who gave you a contact today? Or whom you gave a contact today? Yes? We have been told to be careful for people not to ask for fare or the opposite. You know that joke? How many of you are going to ask for fare today? How many will give fare today? I can see a few hands. So let's put our hands together and clap. 1, 2, 3, ile ya nyayo, moja mbili. Ngoja. Ile ya nyayo, moja mbili tatu. Haya, moja mbili tatu. Tena. Tena. Bunge. 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 Thank you. Sit down. So I am sure that today we've learned so much. I am sure that you've found something that you can remember for the rest of your lives? Many times people ask why people do conferences. They may not have tangible impact. I can assure you that some of us here are products of these conferences. It is because of these conferences that we connected to our areas of interest and we are able to reach where we are. Secondly, look at Joreen. When Joreen was interviewed, when she was being judged for her category as in the entrepreneurship, the judges were surprised at her age and whatsoever volumes of honey she was moving and even putting them in the supermarket shelves. And there is a young person who is also around her place and is not seeing that opportunity. But through her, there are a number of people who have been employed. The farmers in USAID Western who give you the groundnuts and the rest who give you the honey in Baringo. Those farmers, because of Joreen's intervention, they have an income. They have children. So our work as youth agenda is to uplift Joreen and build her capacity to beat Olive. Or hopefully she beats you. And if she does that, she will need a lawyer, she will employ. She will need an accountant, she will employ. She will need salespeople. She will need people to brand, you know. She will need an IT person to manage her websites. These are jobs. To add to that, she will be paying her taxes. When she pays her taxes, then the government people can also pay the people their salaries. So we must be objective to really find the solutions that can help this country. I'm using that example as one. When we went to visit Olive in her office, found a very big office. And we interviewed her, and she told us many other things. So Olive also has interests in mentorship. And now we've picked her to mentor the Joreen and the many more, so that as she exits the youth age, she leaves us with other Olives who will also inspire the rest of the generation. So if Olive comes here and Joreen says she won the award, people begin to look at, so who is Joreen? Because they want to hear the Kinoti. What's the name of that guy? Somebody Kinoti. The guy who does the tents. He does huge tents. Or they want to hear Dashan Chandaria. Yeah? Or somebody De Silva. Yeah? Yet, the real people who can help us navigate the economy are these people. Lastly, is about the masks that we are putting on. This business really helped us to realize that indeed our country, we have potential. So the Chamber of Commerce made an announcement that tailors to submit the masks that they are doing so that they can be given samples. These masks, I'm told, they reached Nairobi, but because of interests, people's interests, these people were never given these tenders. Now, you ask, you're talking about manufacturing. You're talking about creating jobs. You're talking about an enabling environment. If we just decided to say, all the mamas and the youth who are doing tailoring in the mashinani or in slums, each one of them to be given 100,000 masks to make, regardless of the period. And when they deliver, they are paid. Trust me, we will not be talking about COVID millionaires, but rather we'll be talking about a stable economy, because those people will employ others, they will solve problems, and it will be a peaceful country. So for those of us who are in positions of authority, let us think deeply beyond today, think beyond 3 days from now, and look deeply at the issues that we can do to provide solutions to our country. I want to give an example of Meru Youth Service. They have the Meru Youth Service there. Today, there's young people who are in hii place magari inatengenezwa inaitwaje? Hapa nini? Grogon. The name in Antok. Something road. River road up. Yes, Kirinyaga road. That's good. Hapo mbali pa garage. Now, when you go there, you'll find young people who maybe have not gone to any school for skills development, but ni mtu sawa sana on a particular engine of a vehicle. Another one is just so good in the clutch system. Another one is so good in the gear system. Now, through Meru Youth Service, such a kind of a training can be inculcated in the service training. So Meru Youth Service, despite just bringing any youth out, they bring out skilled youth and connect them to the markets. And trust me, you and me, you and the other person who has a vehicle, would trust a fundi who has gone through a system that is trustable. What is so difficult in doing that? Yeah? So there are things that we can do, and I would wish that counties borrow from what Meru Youth Service is doing, go to their tent, look at what they are doing. The other thing is about professionalism. The people, the boda example. Before somebody took time to research the money circulating within the boda groups, these people were just seen as hecklers. But can you imagine the other day the president had to go and address these people? Because the power of money, economy, and the circulation. If you take a boda, you may look down upon that gentleman, not knowing that that gentleman is the one saving in the bank for you to go and take a loan from that bank. Yeah? But when we professionalize motorcycle riding, whereby the motorcycle rider has got contribution to NHIF, has got contribution to NSSF, and there is a way he can be tracked to also pay tax, because these people are also not paying taxes. Trust me, utamaliza shule na mzazi anakuambia unataka nini, nataka bodaboda, na kupeleka training, unapewa bodaboda yako unafanya. But right now, some parents still argue bodaboda or not. So the thing is, can we also have discussions around formalizing these sort on quotes informal jobs? He's just given us an example of his company. Yeah? It's a tailoring business. How many young people can decide to sit kwa cherehani? How many? How many young people can take time to go to YouTube and study the designs and trends? So as much as we push the leaders, I also challenge the youth that let us also push ourselves. Let's not wait. Ask questions as some of you have asked. Research and try out things. Try out. You will never die because you tried. You will have experience. This guy called Patrick Wameo is my personal mentor. He once told me that when you lose money, you have actually paid school fees for that particular experience. Because when you go to school, you pay school fees to go through an XP. So me, I always believe, after I talked to him about, I used to read his articles, he used to write in The Nation. Then he stopped. Then I followed him until I found him in his office. So, I'm challenging you young people that please also seek for information, Don't get tired. Stop complaining. No one is really for you. Wanasemanga, God for us all. Every man for himself. Everybody has an interest. Yeah? So make your interest work. And when you make your interest work, you get followers who help you deliver your interest. And when they follow you, you help them, because then you somehow empower them. So with those many remarks, I want to thank you so much for today. I'm looking forward to you joining us tomorrow. If you've not gone through the exhibitions, please go through them. FMAS Media is there. Please visit them. They have a website. Can you shout it? Website, www.fmas.com. Visit that website for those of you who are interested in farming and even mentorship and the exchange programs. I hope I've not forgotten any, but I wish that you can take this opportunity to also network and ensure that when you leave here, if you are a man and you are not married, try to get a wife from here. If you are a wife and you are not married, jaribu. At least come out with something, yeah? We are young people. With those many remarks, I want to pray for you. God bless you. Let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day. We thank you because as young people we have gathered to discuss way forward for us as a people during this testing time of COVID-19 pandemic. We believe that, Lord, you have every reason that you have given us a chance as the youth to be alive today. And that, Lord, you will use us as your vessels to deliver our purposes as you had planned. Lord, we have finished the conference today and we give glory to you. We ask you, Lord, to be with us through the night, even in our virtual sessions. And Lord, as we rest, and that, Lord, when you allow us to wake up tomorrow, favor us, O God, that will come and complete this conference. We thank you. We ask you for journey mercies for those who are going home. We thank you, Lord Father, for your grace in everything that we do. Open your doors, connect these people, engage them, Lord. Let them be useful Kenyans. Let them be useful to you as you had created us to be useful. We thank you and we praise you, for it is in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Thank you.